I'm going to share my screen. Mute my microphone. Okay.
We are being live streamed. Ooh la la. I see us live on there, Rebecca.
All right. I'm going to get my screen up. All right. Do you see our...
We are being live. We are live.
We're live. Okay. Welcome to everyone that's joining us as you come in. We're just waiting a few minutes till we officially start up. But we're so you're with us here today. Just give us a few minutes and we'll get started at 11 o'clock. So do you see anyone joining us? Comments, Tina?
Not comments.
Or in the watching? I don't know what you'd call it.
There's 17 people from what I can see.
Awesome. Okay.
That is great. Watching from New Brunswick. Wonderful. Yeah, if you are on YouTube watching us live, please pop in the chat and let us know. Calmore, hey, Ruby, a fellow Albertan here.
Oh,
Super
hi,
Mandy is here.
All these people I know from their names on Instagram. And in person, too.
And in person, yes. Wonderful. Yeah, that's fun.
Tess says, hi, Ruby. We know Ruby. She set us up in Edmonton at the puzzle shop for the practice beforehand for the event. That was really fun. If you ever get a chance to go to that store, definitely check it out.
Liam, your parents are watching from the UK. Woo woo.
Oh, cool.
Wonderful. North Vancouver as well. We got Halifax. This is great.
Okay, we're officially able to join us. Canada. We got Halifax. We've got North Vancouver. BC. We've made it. Okay, excellent. All right. Well, I guess we can get started, Tina. What do you think?
We sure can.
All righty. Let me get my slide deck. So welcome, everyone, to the CJPA's first Invitational of 2026. I'm Rebecca Waddell, and I am a CJPA board member, and I also run Manitoba Speed Puzzlers in the lovely province of Manitoba. And I'm joined by my lovely co-host. Would you like to introduce yourself, Tina?
Hey, I'm Tina Forsyth. I am in Alberta, and I'm very excited to be here to watch everyone puzzle today.
So we have puzzlers from across Canada. Victoria from Alberta, Charlene from Quebec, Nicole from BC, Adam, also known as Can Adam Puzzle from Ontario, Liam from BC, Tess, she is from BC but an Albertan at heart, Megan from Ontario, Émilie from Quebec, Andrea from BC, and Kirsty Williams from Manitoba. Very happy and proud to see that Manitoba made it onto the docket today. All right. So as you know, because you're here, this event is being live streamed on our YouTube channel. So that means after the event, you'll be able to go back and watch. And I encourage our aspiring speed puzzlers to go back and rewatch and just kind of really pay close attention to what our puzzlers are doing. You're going to learn so much just from observing how they approach a puzzle. When we get to the end of our competition, we're going to join together. The puzzlers are going to come back on screen, and we're going to have a few minutes to chat with each of them to learn a little bit more about them and to ask them some questions. Maybe they have some good advice for us for how we can do better at nationals, and we'll just have a chance to get to know them better. These are people, we see their names at the top of the leaderboards all the time, but it's really nice for us to kind of learn about them as a person as well. Okay. And you're not going to want to miss this. There are some huge announcements about the CJPA Nationals that are coming up at the end of our interview. I'm so excited because I've been holding these secrets in for so long and I can't wait to reveal them. All right. So today's puzzle, it's a custom puzzle from PuzzleNeck. And I had not heard of this brand before, but Puzzle Neck is a Canadian puzzle company, and they're located in Frank, Alberta, and they produce custom puzzles in a variety of piece counts. So that's their thing, is that they make custom puzzles. And today, if you are a new follower on Facebook or Instagram, go follow them, because you'll be entered for a draw to win a free custom puzzle. But you sign up to follow them today, and everyone who joins today will be entered into that draw. And then they will announce the winner on their Facebook and Instagram pages at Puzzle Neck. And if you're interested in ordering a custom puzzle, you can directly message them on Instagram or Facebook, or by email at randylyn@puzzleneck.com. And puzzles are $55 plus shipping. And maybe, Tina, can I ask you to put Randy Lynn's email into the chat on YouTube so that people can look that up if they'd like to?
Sure can.
Thank you. All right. So the invitational event overview, our puzzle today is a 500-piece puzzle, and the box has a magnetic box top style. So it's going to just open up kind of like that, and it will be wrapped in plastic. And the puzzle pieces are in a reusable zipper bag. So heads up, you don't just rip that zipper bag apart. You can if you want, but I'm just giving you a heads up. So we've allowed an hour and 15 minutes for puzzling time, and we've checked to make sure everything on Zoom is correct. We can see your cameras. Now, there will be commentary during the event from Tina and I. So participants, if you prefer to listen, it's your preference. If you'd like to listen in, feel free. But if you want to turn your volume down so you can focus more on the puzzle, that's totally up to you. For all of our participants, when you're finished, please first stop your timer, hold your timer up to the screen, and then type your time in the chat in our Zoom call, and we'll record it from there. And then, Tina, we can post those times from our Zoom chat into the YouTube comments, okay? You can turn your video off while other puzzlers finish, but then stick around, because after the call, we'll have our post-competition chat. Are there any questions from our puzzlers? I think everyone's pretty well versed in this. All right, you may open your package, open the mailer, and remove the plastic wrap from the puzzle.
Time has come.
Please check that you have the correct image. So this is our image. It's a custom puzzle from Puzzle Neck, and it's a beautiful photographic image with a variety of herbs and medicinal kind of items, lots of textures and colors, and I think you're going to do just fine with this. All right. We'll give everyone a few minutes. I'm just going to check and make sure that everybody is ready to go. Give you a few seconds here to take a little sneak peek at that puzzle. Do your focus framework. All right. Can I just get a thumbs up from the puzzlers when you are ready to go? Okay. Tess, are you good to go? Okay. All right. So oh God, this is so exciting. Are you ready? Oh, you know what? I wanted to say something before. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot to do my intro thing here. I forgot to say that I want to make sure everyone knows how I know. This is my first time hosting. I think it's important for everyone watching at home to know that the puzzlers have really earned their place in this competition. It's based on their success in regional and national events, and it's over time. It's not like they had one fluke. They regularly perform at a very high level, and we're so excited to watch you today and cheer you on as you solve the puzzle. I was thinking about it this morning, and somebody is going to be finishing first, and somebody is going to be finishing last. But that is not really what it's all about today. We just really know that you are 10 of our top fastest puzzlers, and we're cheering for all of you. And for everyone watching at home, this is a real chance for you to watch these amazing puzzlers and learn from them. I'm so sorry. Okay. Are you ready now? Yes, you are.
We're ready.
Tina, you're ready with the timer?
Sure am.
3, 2, 1, puzzle. All right, our puzzlers are off and at 'em. I just wanted to put this up as they flip and sort. We have a beautiful custom puzzle from Puzzle Neck today. It's a 500-piece puzzle, and it's 16 by 20 inches, and it has a slight random cut, but it has a really beautiful matte finish. And our puzzle was created from this really lovely photographic stock image. There's, as you can see, there's things that puzzlers like in this puzzle. There's some beautiful pops of color, those purple coneflower petals, there's blue lavender buds, dried yellow flower petals, and then there's the yellow spices and little areas of blue around the corner. Now we do have also, puzzlers always look for those textures, and there's a lot of variety of distinct textures in this puzzle. You know, we've got the smooth white wood, shiny glass bottle, that embossed metal spoon, a little sachet tied with string, the pottery on the pot. So we've got a variety of natural textures in the lichen and the grasses. So lots for our puzzlers to look at today. And then, of course, the background has that wooden distinct grain that they'll use to orient themselves in the puzzle. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we are going to check in on our puzzlers. They are just cooking here. They are busy flipping and sorting.
Before you jump into Rebecca, I'm curious for those of you on YouTube, first impressions of your puzzle or of this puzzle. Go ahead and pop in the comments there. What was your first impression of seeing that puzzle? I know for me it was a mix of eek and then, okay, let's get in there. I think like you were saying, Rebecca, like where would you start with a puzzle?
I think for me, I always flip and I pull out the edges just to reduce the noise in my main pile. And then I think in this one, it's always, I think what I would do, but you know, when you do the puzzle and you open it up and see the pieces in front of you, it's what jumps out to you first. And I think I'm the kind of person who always goes for the bright color first. So I would probably gravitate to that bright yellow turmeric spice or those purple kind of petals on the flowers. That would be where I would start with, or the blue of that shiny bottle. That's kind of where I would start with. Where would you start, Tina?
I am definitely an edge sorter. I always like to pull out the edges, even if I don't do them right away. I don't know for sure if I would end up doing the edges on this one right away, but definitely I'm an end of the pack puzzler. For anybody watching, I love doing the puzzle competitions, but I am not a contender in these. So that's part of why I love an event like today too, to get to see some of our fastest puzzlers and their approach. I mean, I would really be looking at those brighter colors for sure. There was that purple, there was that yellow. Like for me, that's where my eyes definitely go to. And then at least I feel like I'm making some progress along the way.
I'm just watching. This is so interesting to me to see everyone's approach and how it's just slightly a little different. I'm seeing some people already kind of putting together. I see Andrea has that bright yellow spice area put together. I knew it was going to jump out. It matches her shirt. That's why I think she might be a yellow person. And I see most of our puzzlers have pulled piles of the edges. Yeah, they're just, I can't believe how fast they are. They're all pretty much done their flip and sort. They're just cooking.
I know. Oh my gosh, I love that. So
hey, if you're a puzzler who's trying to get to learn how to be faster, if you ever have a chance to puzzle with someone who's so fast, it really is a learning experience to learn what it looks like and feels like to puzzle with someone who's very quick thinking and has fast hands. I highly recommend that. So what do our commenters say? Do we have any comments on YouTube about what their approach would be?
Yeah, well, and first impressions were love it, love the sorting potential, also definitely sortable. The yellow powdery bowl would be the first for a lot of folks as well, too, from that perspective. Super Mandy, they have 3 copies of this puzzle at the Friday Night Social. So I'm not sure where that is exactly, but that sounds awesome.
That's at Nationals. Yeah. So hey, that's
wonderful. Friday night.
Yeah. So at Nationals, you'll get a chance to give a try of this puzzle. I'm going to try and get Kirsty's puzzle from her before then, but yeah.
And then we can compare.
Exactly.
Compare ourselves to that. Yeah, that's wonderful. It looks like we have 75 people on the YouTube watching right now. Really, so thanks everybody for joining us.
This is really quite interesting to see how everybody is starting. And I kind of assumed that it would look very similar, the way that people would start, but it really, people have their own unique approaches. And I think that's kind of reminder for us that when you're speed puzzling, try different things and then do what works best for you. I'm seeing Andrea's pulled some little projects in front of her and has started doing some islands. I see Megan is doing quite a detailed sort, it looks like. And once she gets those pieces sorted, she's just going to be slapping them together into little pieces. Adam has started working on the edge. And I was watching an interview with Karen Puzzles recently, and she said the edge is kind of like a get to know you of the puzzle. And it kind of gives you an idea of what parts might be easier, what parts might be a little trickier.
Emily's making some progress there on the edge too, it looks like, just getting that framework in place for everything.
It always seems kind of chaotic at the beginning because everything's spread out on the table. But I do see how most of our puzzlers seem to have their pieces kind of in one side of the table and are starting to build on the other. I'm curious for a question for our viewers on YouTube. What do you think? Like, we kind of identified where we wanted to start or what would be the easiest, but I'm curious what you think you might leave to the end, or what might be the most difficult for you. I think, what do you think, Tina? What do you think you would leave to the end?
Pop it up on the screen again, because I can't remember what it looks like in the moment.
Okay.
I mean, I suspect for the end would be for me, it would probably be the background, like the table, the wooden table part of it, like having the islands of different things already built and then filling in that wooden part. That's usually the way my brain tends to go, is like, okay, I built that bottle, or I built that yellow powdery piece, or I built that little jar in the middle there, and then end up filling things in around that.
Yeah, that I think for me too. I do notice there's some dark lines in the background as well that can help kind of orient, like those dark cracks in the table that might help people. And once you kind of get those islands built, there's really only going to be a few areas in between that are going to be all wood. I think most of them you're going to have like a tiny little piece of color on one side that's going to attach. So I think that should make that a little more, be a way to find some clues to solve the puzzle.
Yes, that at least helps when you get to that point.
Yeah, sometimes it's those tiny little dots of color on the tip of a otherwise all wooden piece that really give you the information you need to have. So we're coming up on 8 minutes, and we can see some significant progress getting going here. Almost everyone started their edge or started building out some islands. I see Tess is working on the purple flowers. It's good to know she's taking my good advice, the yellow then the purple, or maybe I just have learned from Tess by watching and learning from her.
I think everybody's got the yellow bowl.
I'm seeing some little yellow bowls all across.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that blue record in the Hello Vinyl puzzle. It kind of just is an automatic. We call that a win, like an automatic win. You can just grab it, slap it together, and then move on. So it's nice to start with something like that where you can just have a really fast, quick win at the beginning. Now, I know our puzzlers, when they're opening the box at the beginning and removing the plastic wrap, and they get that, 15, 20 seconds to look at the image before they start, they're not just saying, oh, this is a nice image. They're really looking at it with a view of strategy. So identifying not only different areas of color, but textures, patterns, looking and assessing where am I going to start? And having a strategy plan. That's one of the best things I've learned that has helped develop my skill as a speed puzzler, is knowing what you're going to do next before you get there and kind of being able to think ahead. I'm really curious for our viewers on YouTube. Here's another question for you. Do you have a strategy when you see the image of a speed puzzle? Like, what's your strategy? Do you think about that, or do you just kind of go with the flow in the moment? Put that out on YouTube. And I really want to give a huge thank you to Puzzles Canada. They have been a longtime supporter of the CJPA, and really, I learned a bit more about their involvement with the CJPA, and without them, I don't know if we would be able to have as much growth as we have. They've been there as a supporter right from the beginning, and they are the people that shipped out all the puzzles for us. So they are so good at that. Today, I know Amanda and Fawn and the crew are at Puzzles Canada shipping out puzzles for the CJPA summer virtual event. And we really want to give a big thank you to Puzzles Canada for their support, because having that shipping support makes all the difference for us to be able to do what we do.
And I'll give them a big thank you for taking all of my money, because I love shopping there.
Oh my gosh. I had a disastrous performance last year at Nationals, an individual, and I had to go to Puzzles Canada and shop until I felt pretty again.
Oh my gosh. I swear that I was a friend of mine that was with me when I was out there last year was like, I'm like, this is my Disneyland. Like just walking through that warehouse and just puzzles everywhere. It's so amazing. So
I was kind of
amazing.
shell-shocked in the first little room, but then I saw there was
Yeah.
this door to a warehouse, and it was like the angels were singing, la.
Yeah.
Anyhow, yeah.
My
Now, for our
wallet was
viewers at
open.
home, for our viewers at home, we want to let you know that the puzzle that our puzzlers are doing today, we told you it's a puzzle neck custom puzzle. And for our viewers, if you go onto YouTube, just a reminder on, pardon me, not YouTube, Instagram or Facebook, and sign up as a new subscriber to their channels today, you will be entered into a draw to win a custom prize. And they will be announcing that winner on their Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So, Tina, have you ever ordered a custom puzzle?
I ordered one myself, but I had a friend gift one to me for Christmas a couple of years ago, a picture of my dogs, which was
Cool.
quite nice. And it was really, I'm not sure which company she bought it from, but it was a beautiful puzzle. Like it was really nice to put together, and it was a very solid, high quality puzzle. Yeah. So this puzzle neck for me too, they are kind of in my neck of the woods, so to speak, because they're in the Crow's Nest Pass, which is just about an hour from where I live here in southern Alberta. So yeah, it's great to see. I've heard of them many times, and it's great to see one of their puzzles, even though I'm not seeing it live myself personally, but getting to see it live in action here as part of this. We had yeah, oh, there's nothing going on. Oh, sorry, there was Larry, I think, maybe Gimbal. I'm not sure. You were asking about what's going on. This is our Canadian Invitational puzzle competition for some of our top puzzlers for the Canadian Jigsaw Puzzle Association. And so we have 10 amazing folks here today that are working on a puzzle and seeing who's looking to come in what order here. So that's what we're doing here today.
And
The
they have
timer.
qualified for I think it's important to just kind of say too that they've qualified for this event based on their placements at our regional and national events. And so they have qualified for a spot in this invitational today. Generally, our CJPA virtual events are open, anybody can attend, but in this case, it was based on their qualifications from our regional and nationals events. Yeah. I'm just checking the progress of some of our puzzlers. I'm seeing Adam has really gone for the yellow. I'm seeing those yellow flower petals and that yellow bowl of spices are coming together. He's got quite a big chunk on the right hand of the puzzle there. I'm seeing Amelie has quite a bit of the top and the side, the right side and the bottom of her frame, and she's got some little islands going in there. She's going to be attaching those soon. Charlene has her yellow spices together. And she's also working on the left side of the puzzle. She's got some islands coming together. It's amazing how quickly this is coming together for people here. I see Kirsty has her frame built and her yellow spices are there. And she's got her little projects, very organized, Kirsty. She's got her projects sorted into little piles, and she's so quick. She'll just grab those and put those pieces together so quickly. Victoria's hands are going so fast, I can hardly see what she's doing. She's just speeding along. Megan has quite a bit of her edge complete, and I see she has her little project piles together and is starting to make up those islands in the middle of her puzzle as well.
So, question for you, Rebecca, as well as the folks on YouTube. What are our predictions for the time?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have no scientific basis for this, but I'm going gut reaction. And I'm going to say, I'm going to say 42-37. That is my prediction, 42-37. And I have no idea who it's going to be, but I think somebody probably will be able to hit it in that 42 to 45 minute mark.
I was thinking 41-36. So I think we're very... And same thing. I have no scientific reason for that. It was just a guess. Absolutely.
All right.
Fearless Puzzler was saying low 40s, thinking that. Yeah. And yeah, we had somebody had a question about putting the timer image in the video of the commenters. Unfortunately, Becky, we aren't quite that tech savvy at the moment, but I appreciate that comment in the spirit of having one less video to be able to see folks a bit bigger on the screen. But absolutely appreciate that. We wanted to make sure to have a visible timer for folks just to really be able to see what's going on with everybody throughout this. So that's great. Jen, I'm not a puzzler, but I say mid 40s as well. And yeah,
it's easy for us to say we're not doing it.
Go, Kirsty, go. Looking for a top 10 finish. All right, Kirsty. Apparently, according to Jeff, I'm assuming, looking for a top 10 finish. That should be doable. I think we're pretty solid to say everybody here today will be in a top 10 finish. I mean, really very much are, to your point, Rebecca, of having qualified for this already through previous events. I mean, everybody here is very much a top 10 finisher in the grand scheme of the association at large too. So that is very great. Yeah, I wonder how well the colors on the pieces match what's on the box. That can be a challenge sometimes with different puzzles. We can look at the box and think, oh, these are going to be so bright and obvious. And then once they're all laid out on the table, it may not be quite so bright.
Yeah, it can often tend to just be a little bit darker than what the image on the box looks like. And that can really impact how you see the puzzle. I'm just looking to see, I see Megan has her white wooden, I don't know if it's a pestle or if it's like a cutting board that's put together. I just turned away and I looked back and boom, there it is.
That is
I'm
great.
seeing that Victoria has a lot of different islands ready, and I'm just impressed with the organizational skills of these speedy people. All these little piles of projects ready to go. Tess is working on her blue bottle. She's got her bottle, her spices, her yellow flowers, those white kind of feathery flowers next to the spice, her purple flowers. She's got all the little sections coming.
Adam's got a lot going on in the right-hand corner up there too. So all the yellow working on those same bottles and such as well.
It always impresses me how people can start. I'm very much a pick and place kind of, pick up a piece and know where it goes in the puzzle. So I've had to try and train myself to focus on one area at a time so I can speed up my speed. And I'm always so impressed when people can start in one section and kind of work across and build off of something. I think that's a real talent and a skill. I'm seeing our puzzlers, quite a few of them are doing that. But this puzzle, I would say generally it's the kind of puzzle where you're going to approach it by building those little islands and then trying to join together.
Well, and that'll be part of our conversation. So just a reminder for everybody watching too, after the actual competition piece is completed today, we have a little bit of a fireside chat. We're calling it a little bit of some conversation with our puzzlers here today. And of course, that's what I'm always curious about is, okay, what was your strategy? Like how did you approach this? And how might that be different from ways they might approach other puzzles? But that strategy piece is so fascinating to really, I tend to be, Rebecca, a little bit of a jump around to my detriment, honestly. Yeah. Like if I was a bit more focused in various ways, that would probably help. But I do find it fascinating to really know. I mean, Kirsty's very much got that frame pretty much fully built out there. And yet, other puzzlers like Tess is a bit more taking the island approach and building things as we go. I think, Émilie, you have your frame quite a bit built out, as does Megan as well, too. So yeah, it's interesting to see the differences. And yet everybody's very speedy.
Yeah. And just watching as they like they're nobody's hands have stopped moving at all. And do you notice this is another key factor? Do you notice how everyone's using two hands? They're not just using one hand. They're both always using two hands. And that's something that really takes practice to get good at. So you always want to be, like you only use one hand, you're kind of reducing what you can do. So I'm seeing lots of people putting one hand on the puzzle to find the place for it, or picking up and sorting with both hands at the same time, always moving their hands, never just stopping and looking. I've had the good fortune of puzzling with Kirsty many times, and I made the mistake of picking up a piece and holding it out of the puzzle to kind of look for it. And she grabbed it out of my hands and said, "Puzzle jail, move on." So when you have those pieces where you don't know where they go right away, like don't waste your time. You'll figure out where they go later. And that's a technique that these good puzzlers use. You call it puzzle. You know how you pick up that same piece over and over? And you're like, I don't know why, you keep going back to it. You put it in a puzzle jail, a spot on the table. And then when you find where it goes, you'll know how to grab it and put it back into its correct spot.
Can you repeat the giveaway information again too, Rebecca?
Yes. So Puzzle Neck is are the people that created our puzzle, and they have an Instagram and a Facebook page. If you go onto if you sign up as a new follower on Instagram or Facebook today, that will enter you into a draw to win a custom puzzle. And
Randy
it's
Lynn,
at Puzzle Neck on Instagram.
Yeah. Randy Lynn popped in the comments here that as well. So good to see you here, Randy Lynn. You can see everybody working on the puzzle, which is great. And if you want to pop that into maybe that direct link in the chat as well, Randy Lynn, for being able to follow and such, that would be great. Made the puzzles in your little facility in Southern Alberta. I'm in Southern Alberta too, Randy Lynn, so I know exactly where you are. That's exciting.
I have a question for Randy Lynn. How long have they been making custom puzzles?
That's a great one.
I haven't ever bought a custom puzzle yet, but I can see that, many places where it'd be a good idea. And I wonder if maybe our viewers could put in the comments if they've ever purchased a custom puzzle, or if they did, what they might make that puzzle of. I was at the thrift store the other day, and I was looking at a puzzle on the shelf, and I was like, wait a minute, like and it was pictures of a family on vacation. So it was a custom puzzle that had found its way to the thrift store, but it was like snapshots from a family's vacation. And I thought, well, this is very interesting to see. Like I didn't ever think of making 1,000-piece puzzle of my family on vacation, but then I kind of was a little sad because it was at the thrift store. I guess they
do I want to do? I don't know if I want to do a puzzle of somebody else's family vacation. Maybe. It depends on the colors. It depends. I like a sky, so if they had a lot of sky in it, maybe I would have liked that one.
It was very beachy.
Yeah. Couple of things. Super Mandy, her comment of it's interesting to see everybody's tables. This is a good point too. We've got some folks who have a dark or wood background table, others here that are working on a white table, and how that, depending on the puzzle, there can be different advantages there as well. Ooh. So yeah, I definitely am picky about what my surface is when I'm working on a puzzle. Absolutely.
Well, and it's also the fact that when you're puzzling at home in a virtual competition, you can set up your space in any way you choose. Whereas when you're at an in-person competition, everybody has the same layout, the same lighting, pretty much, unless there's, darker pockets in a room. But so it's interesting that's a great observation, just to kind of think about how does your setup at home impact your speed puzzling.
As long as it's one that my cats can't slide stuff off the table, I'm good. Just Randy Lynn popped in here. They've been in operation for 2 years, just gaining momentum, which is exciting. And somebody, what was it, for the love of puzzles, said here, I made a custom puzzle. My best tip: not every beautiful photograph makes for an enjoyable puzzle. I think that could be very true. Like I think that could be a default. Like, oh, I'd love to make a puzzle out of this particular photo of like family, or in my case, it was my pets, or, vacation and such. But that doesn't
Sure.
always make for the best puzzle itself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're watching with Rolanda from Ottawa there. That's great.
Hi, Rolanda.
Yeah.
I was doing the Puzzle Wave interviews, and I was talking with a mom and her daughter from Ontario, and the mom had made a custom puzzle of the two of them for the Puzzle Wave. So the two of them were puzzling together a puzzle of themselves. So I thought that was quite sweet and a nice thing to do.
Oh, that is. I don't know if this happens for you, Rebecca, but I tend to look at the world through the lens of a puzzle these days. Like I'll see like a painting or an image, or I have a friend who's an artist, and I'm always like, ooh, that would make a great puzzle. Like everything starts to look like a puzzle when we are puzzlers, or to be like, ooh, that wouldn't make a good puzzle in some cases. So yeah.
It's so true. I live in Manitoba, right on the border of the Canadian Shield and the prairies. So there's a lot of different landscapes available to us. And you drive out on the prairies with that big prairie sky, and it's like, oh, that's a lot of sky for a puzzle. That's absolutely true. Or you look at something close up and think, oh, that would make a really neat little puzzle as well. Let's just check in on our puzzlers here. They're pretty much keeping up neck and neck at this point. I'm seeing that most of our puzzlers have quite a bit of that right-hand section of the puzzle assembled. That yellow spices, the yellow flowers, and those white kind of lacy dried herbs. I think they're dried herbs, and the blue bottle. And it's very interesting to me. Then they've jumped over to that white second. Not everyone, but some are working their way more across. I only see a few that have got the purple flowers put together. I see Tess and Kirsty have those assembled, and Nicole's been working on that as well too. Émilie is working on that white kind of mortar and pestle area. There's so many different textures and colors to pick out, and it really makes sense that they're going for the ones that jump out first.
You guys can't see it. Hang on.
Easiest, and then go to the next easiest.
Yeah, I was going to try to, I don't know if it'll show up for everybody. It seems to cut it off, but I was just going to try to show the picture again for everyone through my screen, but my background cut everything off there.
I can put the picture up here real quick. Could take a look at the image.
Fun to see that again.
There you go. Yeah, it's kind of nice to kind of refer to. So we're seeing that. I don't know if, can you see my mouse on the screen?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so we're seeing a lot of this blue bottle, this yellow petals. It's lichen. Yes, the lichen that's popped out to people, and these yellow spices. And now we've seen kind of the purple flowers and this white round piece of wood here. These little lavender petals might be a little bit tricky. I'm not sure how much of it's but those are gonna be, kind of shape sort, I think, because they don't have a lot of direction to them. There are some kind of similar colors in some of these browns and dark colors. So I wonder how much that's going to show up on the, when you look at it as the pile of puzzles, how much you're going to be able to differentiate between those.
Yeah, you look at the image and think, oh yeah, not a problem. And then all the pieces look the same.
Yeah, exactly. Especially I can see kind of like this pod at the bottom compared to this little pot in the center, some similarities.
Super Mandy's saying, I see people did the pink flowers already. Maybe we are over the pink flower PTSD from Nationals 2025.
I don't know if anyone's over that one, but
I think that was individuals, wasn't it, for that one?
Yes, that was individuals. Yeah, that was, well, I think that puzzle Walk in the Rain is one of the most repeated kind of by our speed puzzlers. They don't want to let it kind of defeat them. So they keep going back to it. And, you know, it's important to think at nationals, like you are going to get some tricky puzzles because this is nationals. And that's actually a really good question that we could talk to our puzzlers about after during the chat. But for our viewers on YouTube, what do you do when you get stuck in those? Because that's a real, like you are going to get stuck when you're doing a puzzle, but you can't just kind of sit in it, right? You got to pivot. You need to maybe work on something else. Sometimes it helps even just to look away for a second, then look, and it's like you can see it with fresh eyes as a little reset. So if anyone has any tips in the comments, what do you do when you get stuck? I know for myself, if I find like I'm slowing down or getting stuck on an area, I try and bail out sooner than later, not getting too committed to it, and then maybe going and picking out a new project or filling in some holes in my puzzle, just kind of shifting to a different project to kind of still be doing something while I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do with that tricky part, but just so that I'm not just sitting there and holding up the piece and trying to figure it out. I don't know if our commenters have any suggestions for us.
Well, I think just so everybody knows too, there is a bit of a lag between us live on Zoom and everybody puzzling too. So I know we are circling back to stuff as it's coming up. But also a question, I don't know if you know the answer to this, Rebecca, because I don't know the answer. How was this image selected? I know this is a custom stock photography image.
Yes, so I could tell you a wonderful story about a fairy princess in a castle, but I actually asked Amanda, and she just really liked the image, and she chose this. She was looking at some different options, and she thought this would be a really great choice, just kind of with all these areas of color, texture, and just kind of a beautiful image for our puzzlers to puzzle. So it was mainly picked on the image. And kind of also
thank you, Amanda.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and
Amanda.
Also the ability, like I found this pressure recently because I host events for the Manitoba Speed Puzzlers. In fact, we have an event today, this afternoon. And there's a lot of pressure that comes with picking the puzzles because you want to make sure that you pick something that is going to be challenging enough, but not so challenging that it's discouraging, because you do have at an event, like obviously here we have elite puzzlers, but at a more community event, you've got a wide range. So you want to try and pick something that's enjoyable, but also doable in a certain amount of time.
So Amanda is
There's a lot of pressure that comes with picking the puzzles.
Yeah. Amanda's in our comments. I didn't realize she was super Mandy. So she was commenting.
So Amanda, maybe you can give us the full backstory.
You can give us the answer. And a couple of comments about how people respond when we get stuck. So Kyla, work on a different section and come back, or keep moving but in a different way. Piece sort or micro sort. Piece sort, yes, that's a good one too. Piece sort can definitely come into play, especially when everything starts to look exactly the same on the puzzle. For the love of puzzles, if stuck, some of the things I do: sort by piece shape, try just connecting 2 or 3 pieces, step back and look at the overall image to find something smaller. That's great. Work with the pieces you have and not just with the holes. Ooh, that's a good one. Work with the pieces you have and not with the holes. So that's interesting.
Maybe they can explain more what they mean by that, because I'm always on the lookout for good tips.
Yeah.
So for people who might not know what we're talking about when we say shape sort, really good strategy when you're coming to an area, particularly I'm thinking those little blue, although Megan's got all her little blue lavender buds put together there. She might have gone by the shading and the coloring. When you come to an area where it's kind of all the same, or it's hard to tell what goes where, a shape sort is when you quickly sort out your pieces on the table. So all the pieces with 1 bump are in a pile, all with 2, all with 3, you're kind of regular shaped with the bumps on the end. And it really can speed you up. because you'll know exactly, you can look at the whole of the puzzle and look at the pile of, oh, I need a 2 on the corner, and find it and put it in. And so that is something that when you get down to the end where you've kind of find yourself slogging through those last tricky spaces, and you can use shape sorting as a technique to really be able to speed up. And that's something I rely on a lot. And what I've learned is if you think, oh, maybe I should shape sort, you already should have shape sorted. So I don't know if we'll see any of our puzzlers shape sort today. We're going to keep our eyes peeled for that. I'm really seeing lots of progress on our puzzles here. We're really kind of coming together.
There was another comment, Teresa, this was a little bit above, so I don't think you were responding directly to our question about getting stuck, but you said that you have a sorting card, which is light on one side and dark on the other. I think that was in response to the type of table or the surface. Yes. So that's a good idea too, like having a card where, ooh, you could flip it over as needed for that.
Well, yeah, then if you've got very dark pieces, you would put them on the white side of the sorting tray. Or if you've got a lot of white ones, you can put them, or lighter colors, put them on the dark side, and then it stands out. So that's a really good strategy, is to have a double-sided sorting tray. And then you can use what's going to help you in the moment.
Absolutely. Scan the pieces, look for small details that stand out, like a color that doesn't appear a lot in the puzzle. Yeah, absolutely. Start with a pair and join with the intention of having fun. Oh, you're talking about having fun there, Amanda. So yeah. Puzzle crowd is the best. We did have some.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to be having fun. That's right. Good reminder.
Yeah, see, Mina.
Sorry, what was the last thing you said there, Tina?
Yeah, Mina was asking what's everyone's time guesses for the first finisher. I know we had everything ranging from 38 up to like 41, 42 minutes and like early to mid 40s is where we were originally.
So this is your last chance. If you'd like to amend your guess, you can put it in the comments. I think we are going to see some finishers in the next little while.
It is so fun when you get to this point and it's like everybody's made such progress, and in so many ways it's hard to tell where I can literally
see the progress as I scan from puzzler to puzzler, and then kind of come back to the beginning and see more spaces filled in.
This is going to be a tight finish. I feel like I think we're going to have a lot of like boom, 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 boom with some of this here.
I was watching the World Championships for individuals, and I had a scrapbooking event, so I was watching on my phone with earbuds, and I couldn't help it. I was yelling and making noises, and eat your heart out, World Championships. Look at these puzzlers go. This is just so exciting. And I think what's nice too about the puzzling community is so many of our puzzlers here are friends. They're friends first and competitors second. There might be a little friendly trash talk, but other than that, everyone's so supportive and so happy for people to achieve a personal best or to just to do their best and puzzle together. It's just a wonderful community we have here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Charlene's moving some islands around. She's bringing them together. That's something when you're puzzling, when you have a lot of islands, every once in a while you need to stop and check and make sure that those islands, you'd be like, where is that piece? And then all of a sudden, oh yeah, these two sections connect. You need to bring them together to get them in their place. I'm seeing seems to be now some people kind of working on just finishing up those little portions of the edge that they've got kind of hanging out on the table, connecting islands together. That's something you can do too is, with this puzzle, it was kind of like build it from the center out. But on other puzzles, especially if you've got like a sky or a gradient, you might want to start with the frame and then build in and kind of use that as an anchor point to build off of. So right now we can see that we've got, I would say most people have their frame almost fully complete. And they can start kind of using that as a board. Well, I guess a frame is technically a border, but kind of to fill in those pieces. I honestly can't even predict who's going to finish first. This is
I
just
know
amazing.
there's a lot that are very close.
And we're coming up to 40 minutes. Everyone's just doing so well. Oh my gosh.
For the record, this puzzle would take me a heck of a lot longer than it's going to take anybody. And it would be so fun, regardless.
I'm almost like distracted by watching everyone.
Even if you're a slower speed puzzler like me, it's all still good and fun. Especially,
and I suppose if you wanted to order this puzzle for yourself, you could order it through Puzzle Neck if you wanted to give
what
it
I
a
was
try.
thinking. Yeah. I was thinking, I know it'll be at the puzzle night there too, that Amanda mentioned that, but I'm also a little bit like, ooh, all right. I might need to grab a copy of this before then. Yeah. Then we could come ready and surprise everybody at how fast we are.
I feel like many of our puzzlers are down to, I'd say maybe 40-ish, 50-ish pieces. I don't know. I have no basis. That's just a guess, but
yeah.
So this is that time when
Jeff had said they're going to watch this back on half speed later because everybody's so fast.
Yeah, that might be more realistic for our viewers at home to keep up with half speed.
Oh my gosh, we are coming up on. I have a hard time counting the number of pieces, but we're definitely getting to this last little bit for a lot of our puzzlers right now. Nicole's officially connecting everything there in those pieces that were kind of floating for a moment, but now they're all coming together.
It's amazing how all those kind of little islands come together and make a continent of a puzzle, hey?
Absolutely. And that's always fun to see when you're watching too. It's like, oh, there we go. Yeah, so satisfying. Megan's got some lightning fast hands. Liam's working on that bottom part there.
I'm so excited to talk to the puzzlers because, like, I always want to try and have an idea of like what is happening inside your head while you're doing this, because look how quickly you're thinking and identifying and making those snap decisions between colors, shapes, textures. It's just really amazing to watch our puzzlers. It's, I've been thinking, like, in Manitoba, we just hit 300 subscribers in our Facebook group. And a year ago, I didn't know anybody who was a speed puzzler in Manitoba. And so I think, like, there's something about speed puzzling that, where you're either like, oh, that's too stressful, I can't handle it, or I love speed puzzling because it's like it gives that extra challenge on top of just assembling a puzzle. I'm curious for our viewers on YouTube what they like about speed puzzling. What is it about speed puzzling that attracts them versus just doing a puzzle for fun? And I think we need to pay close attention to Megan because she is down to maybe her last 20 pieces.
Megan, you're rocking and rolling there. Emily as well.
Yeah, Emily is down to a little small pile as well.
Victoria, I can't see your table quite the same angle, but I see quite a few things coming together there. Yeah. It's it's all good. Looks like it's coming together for sure. Andrea's working on those final little in-between pieces like we were talking about earlier, Rebecca, where they hopefully have a little bit where you can find where they're going to go.
This is just amazing because I have a perfect view of her hands. She's putting in 2 pieces at a time. She's just cooking.
Oh my gosh, that's talent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there is a skill to having the piece in your hand and rotating it to be in the correct orientation by the time you get to the place where you want to put it, right?
Absolutely.
There's that kind of, when you get to the piece and you do that, spin around in a circle. But I'm seeing very nimble finger dexterity here where she's rotating the pieces and just plopping them in 2 at a time.
Emily very ambidextrous. And Megan, you are very close to each other right now, Emily and Megan.
Yeah. This is neck and neck. Oh my God, this is thrilling. Okay, guys, you've got this. Push, push, push. You're doing so well. Kirsty's down to probably about 25 pieces or 30. Adam, too. Nicole's coming in. She's brought in a sorting tray. Very smart. Yay, Megan!
Megan did it! Yay, Megan!
Congratulations!
It's amazing.
Woohoo! I want to see Megan's happy dance. I know she's got that wonderful happy dance from Worlds. Oh,
that is great. Wonderful, Megan.
Well done.
That was
well
a huge
done.
happy dance.
Love it.
And then we got Emily coming up right on her heels there.
Yeah. Oh, there's Emily,
which is
right
so
down
great.
her last 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 pieces left, 3 maybe, and she's done. Woo! Oh gosh, I'm sitting in my basement.
Wonderful.
Cheering. Yay! Way to go!
Oh my gosh. I think the two of you were like about 30,
okay.
30-ish seconds, 45, 16.
Wow,
yes.
It was neck and neck the whole way, and
44, 36. Wonderful. Megan,
Wow,
44, 36. Emily,
Well
45, 16. That is amazing. And we've got some more coming up on your heels. The two of you were very much puzzle neck and neck, perhaps. We'll have a little play on the words. Puzzle neck and neck. There we go. That was our.
Oh, well done. Now, this is just fascinating to watch. I looked away for a second and you were done, Megan. I just looked like, she was cooking. All right.
That is awesome.
Here. We've got, oh man, it's going to be too close to tell who's coming in third place.
Yes, there's another group of you that are all very close.
Just neck and neck. So keep pushing, guys. You're doing so well. I can't wait to chat with everyone at the end of the competition to see what you thought about this puzzle.
For you, Emily and Megan, I'm gonna stop your video real quick just because it makes the screen a bit bigger, just so you know.
Yeah. And then
so if we stop your video, then
we'll be back to see you in a few minutes.
When we do the chat afterwards, of course, we'll bring you back on, but that gives us a little bit more. Oh, now we can see even a little bigger on the screen.
You've got their times there, Tina.
I do.
Let's see.
Pop those.
Nicole's maybe down to her last 20. She's got about 20 pieces on the table and maybe 10 on her tray. That's a great technique, actually. She's pulled her tray right up close, so she's not having to go to the side, come back, go to the side, come back. And that's something I've actually been kind of playing around with for individuals, is having that tray to be able to pull the pieces a little bit closer. Looking to see if anyone's going to be taking time to do a shape sort or if they're just going to push through.
We saw a lot of shape sorting on this one. I might not have noticed it, but it felt a bit more like that. Like you were saying earlier, Rebecca, like, ooh, once you get down to these last few pieces, you can just kind of see where they go.
Yeah.
Everyone is doing so well. I agree. This is impressive.
I'm trying to kind of notice if they're kind of all working on the same little areas. And I think there's that little section of wood underneath the brown pot in the middle. Most people are kind of working on that area right now. Adam's down to about maybe his last 25 pieces here. He's cooking.
I'd say same for Tess is pretty much
she's
that
kind of
same.
down to that.
Kirsty,
just filling in those little wood pieces.
Kirsty,
I think
Andrea.
They've maybe got 15 pieces left. Kirsty's down to 20. Oh my gosh, this is too close to call. This is so exciting. I'm so impressed with how they can keep their speed up for the full time. You know, like they've been using both hands. And I think that's something to practice too, is kind of your endurance for doing a puzzle and really like taking a puzzle and repeating it over and over so you can learn what it feels like to move your hands that quickly and for the whole time. Okay, Tess is coming down to the last few pieces. Adam, their neck and neck, I would say. Same with Kirsty.
Yeah, very close.
Placed quite a few pieces as well. Victoria, I think it's hard for me to see her pile of pieces, but she's just kind of bringing everything together here. It looks like she's just filling in those holes. Andrea, oh, I looked away for a second and you're done. Way to go, Andrea. Our third place finisher, 49.09. Well done,
Andrea. Woo! And like we
Liam,
were saying earlier, we had it
49-28.
matched
Oh my
your
gosh.
shirt.
Well done.
So,
Okay.
oh, Liam,
Liam,
49-28.
well done. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Tess and Adam,
All
it's going to
right.
be right down to it, guys. And Kirsty, oh my gosh, it could be anyone's. Oh, and I think Tess has about 5 puzzle pieces left. Adam's got about maybe 10. Let's see.
Liam 49-28. Congrats. Andrea 49-09.
Oh, Tess
Amazing.
is done. There we go.
49-58, Tess.
Wow, by seconds
49-58.
apart. This is fabulous. Well done. Kirsty and Adam are both coming down to the end of their pieces here. Nicole's just right behind, and we've got Charlene and Victoria coming in hot. Oh,
yeah.
I see
Oh,
that.
wow.
Kirsty, 50-20. Well done.
50-20 for you, Kirsty.
Right on her tail. 50-26. Oh, well done, everyone. Oh,
my gosh.
It's exhausting doing a puzzle. Like, it is like a sport. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
you'd be working up a sweat. Working up a sweat doing this for sure.
It felt, like in the Braveheart scenes where they had the war paint and they were all decorated. Like, people were coming out with streaks of puzzle dust on their hands and their face from, just puzzling so hard. Well done, everyone.
Our own version of Braveheart, we just have blue puzzle dust on our face instead of,
I just can't believe how quickly everyone finished like that last 25 pieces.
Yeah, there was everybody was within a minute there. Adam, Liam, Tess, and Kirsty were all within a minute. And Andrea, you were all within about a minute of each other there, minute and a half. So that is amazing. Nothing happens for 45 minutes and then everything happens at once. Exactly, Megan.
Yeah, exactly, Megan. I'm just trying to scan the screen, and as I'm scanning, I'm like, oh, she's done. Oh, they're done. Oh,
yes,
he's done. That was so fast. Oh, this is so thrilling. Well done,
it's
everyone.
Funny you say that, Rebecca, though, like when we were at the regionals there in Alberta, I think Victoria's getting down to the wire there too.
Yeah.
That to me, like being a spotter was almost more work than doing the puzzle, because you're like looking, oh my gosh, oh, this person, oh, it's this person now. Oh my gosh, everybody's getting so close. So it's half the fun just watching everybody progress.
Well, we're so excited this summer in Manitoba. We're hosting our first Manitoba regionals. Ooh. And Villager Puzzles is going to be our sponsor for that.
Oh, that's fun. Gotta love a Villager puzzle. They're beautiful.
Beautiful Canadian women artists. So as soon as Nationals is finished, I won't be competing because I'm running it, but the Villager practicing will start in earnest. I see Victoria's coming down. She's got her last little holes that she's filling in there. Nicole too, she's down. She's got all her pieces on her tray. She's almost finished. The tray. Come on, yes. Nicole, let's go. And she's done. Well done.
Ooh. Nicole. Great stuff. 52-47. Got it, Nicole. Good job.
And Charlene's working on that little section at the bottom, just kind of underneath. It's interesting how maybe that was, I don't know if it was really the hardest or if it was just the part that didn't have the most color, kind of underneath that little pot of honey or jam or whatever it is. It seems like that seems to be where most of our puzzlers ended up on.
Lots of cheers for everybody in the YouTube chat as well. Yeah. If we could hear everybody out loud, it would be a lot of yelling of go, go, go.
And in our Zoom chat, we have a chat here for the participants in our Zoom that's not coming up. But yeah, everybody's cheering each other on. That's what's so nice about the puzzle community. You're just as happy for the person that comes in first as you are for the person that maybe it's their first time completing a puzzle in the time, or, Devin always says, don't beat yourself up, just try and beat yourself and do better than you did the last time. So I always kind of take that to heart.
Absolutely.
You're you're racing against other people, but you're also racing against yourself.
Charlene's just putting a big bit of an island getting attached there with what she's working on now.
She's kind of got that little arc in between the edge and the middle. She's just filling all that in. Victoria's using both hands here. She's just absolutely cooking through.
That's great. Adam, 5026. Absolutely. Got that there.
This is wonderful to watch. Did anybody, I'm curious if anyone in the comments on our YouTube channel was able to correctly predict the time
we had some mid
45s.
There was some folks that predicted mid 45s, so they would have been, or mid 40s there. Yeah. They would have been correct in that.
I'm very impressed with Victoria and Charlene here because they're puzzling away. They're in the zone. They're in the puzzle zone. And it's really interesting how sometimes you can be struggling with a section and then you just kind of, all of a sudden it clicks for you and you can fill in those little spots. Look at her go there.
Yeah.
That happened at regionals. We were doing for teams, it was a puzzle with a big city skyline, and the buildings are quite blurry and a little tricky. And
the Alberta one there?
At Alberta regionals.
Yeah.
And
that was
my partner and I were shape sorting and trying to brute force those pieces in. And all of a sudden she just said, I got it. And her hands just went boop, 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 boop. And I just said, I'm getting out of your way. And she just filled in those last kind of 12 pieces. It just kind of clicks and you get in the puzz zone. It's like flow state or something.
That is awesome. That's great.
This is impressive. Right, all of our fishers are going to be finished well under an hour. This is wonderful. This is why they're here. These are our top puzzlers.
Yep. Yeah, Randy Lynn asking about how the competitors gauge how they felt they did. That's what we're going to be talking about next. Again, a reminder for everybody, we've got a couple of big announcements coming up for nationals, as well as some conversation with our puzzlers here today, who will hop back on screen once everybody's done, and a little bit of fireside chat and questions and such as well. And yeah, along those lines, if you have a question for the puzzlers, those of you on YouTube, go ahead and pop that in the chat right now. Put a Q in front of it, if you wouldn't mind, just a Q dash, whatever your question is, and then it's easy for us to see it in the flow of everything there. Because we'll be switching into that. If you have a question
for a specific puzzler, you can even ask that too, if you have a specific puzzler.
Oh, Victoria and Charlene, so close.
Get right down to it. Oh, I think Charlene has like 3 pieces left. Oh, they're going in, they're going in. And she's done. Well done.
Right.
57 something.
Can you hold that up a little? 5708. Charlene. Oh my gosh. That is great.
Victoria, I see one little piece sitting at the top of her puzzle, and she's just about finished there too. She's like, forget about it.
She said, not yet.
Puzzle jail. Puzzle jail.
Puzzle jail.
Victoria, you got this. Your competitors are cheering you on in the chat with uppercase letters.
Wonderful stuff. Oh, so exciting. It's nice to see the box there too, where in Victoria's setup, I can see the image.
Yeah.
Looks beautiful. These puzzles do look beautiful. I got to admit, I'm a little jealous that I don't have one right now, but hey, that can be rectified. I can get myself one. So.
And the puzzle neck puzzles have that kind of hinged top, so it kind of makes it automatically into a bit of a puzzle stand.
Oh yeah. So nice. They look beautiful. Absolutely. Oh, we're getting there.
Got it, Victoria.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing times, everybody. My goodness.
This is just it's like a clinic on how to do a puzzle. This is wonderful.
We didn't have, somebody was asking if there's a time limit. We didn't have a time limit, but I mean, we knew these guys would be pretty speedy.
We won't need a time limit. No.
We don't need a time limit for them.
No. Victoria's down to her last few pieces. She'll be finished right away. Yeah. In our online competitions, there is a time limit. For individuals, it's 2 hours. And then if you are finished within the time, that's fine. If not, you can just keep puzzling and submit your time after. At our in-person competitions, there's a time limit. And once you get to the end of that time, we don't take your puzzle apart, like if you're at nationals, because they count how many pieces you've assembled. And then you can have a ranking base. Yay, Victoria! Nice. I knew you could do it. 59-14. Well done. Nice. Oh my gosh.
Everybody's finished under an hour.
Fantastic. Yes,
all
Kirsty says
excited.
we rock. That's absolutely true. Okay, everyone, if you'd like to turn your cameras back on and join us in our...
That is amazing.
Oh, I'm so proud of you all. Well done. Well,
Yay!
Tina, you can disconnect your timer YouTube there. Everyone's like, oh. I was saying for once today, my hair is done for one of these videos. I don't have it up in a bun for puzzling. I did my hair for you all today. So I'll give you a second just to catch your breath. We are so excited to check in with all of you today. And I hope you could... Oh, Megan needs to be her
I
camera.
will do that. Sorry, Megan. I don't think I meant to.
Yeah, Amelie as well.
Okay. Remove permit. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let me know if that worked for you, Megan and Amelie, to start the videos again. Sorry, I think, yeah, sometimes if we turn it off on our end, it got turned off. Oh, everybody's here.
Yay. All right. Okay, well, now you get to actually see the lovely faces of all of these speedy puzzlers, the faces behind the fast hands that you've enjoyed watching for the last under an hour. Everyone came in under an hour.
So
Randy Lynn from Puzzle Neck is in the chat, and she's really curious how you like the puzzle. So what we're going to do, we're just going to call on people one by one, and we'd like you to tell us how the solve went for you today. And, you know, we were watching and kind of making our thoughts as we watched. But if you had an easy or maybe a particularly difficult part of the puzzle you'd like to talk about, and you could maybe talk about your strategy, how you approached it, or how you would change your strategy if you felt you could improve upon it for next time. And and then we'll ask just to share some advice with speed puzzlers. So now who would like to go first? Let's see. Tess, I'm going to come over to you. I feel Tess is very confident and will be always happy to chat with Tess. Hi. So Tess is representing BC today. And you qualified because of BC National? Was it? Let me just check my notes here.
So I qualified from the rankings.
Yes. Oh, from the rank?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So Tess, how'd the puzzle go for you today? What did you think?
It was decent. I was really happy when I saw the image. This is something that's like fun to do. There's a ton of little projects. I loved the turmeric bowl. I don't know if you saw, but I had the turmeric bowl done within it was like I looked at my timer and there was 4 minutes maybe, and I had already done my flip and sort and the turmeric bowl. I was so proud of that. Yeah, I really liked the puzzle. I think I made a lot of mistakes when it came to sorting the edge. I think that was just a waste of time, honestly, because then my edge connected to so many little projects and it was a bit of a mess. But
so you could have maybe left them as sorting them in right in projects as opposed to taking time to separate them. So
yeah, I think I should have just done the flip without the edge pull.
Well, and that's something you have to decide in a snap decision, right? As soon as you're looking at the puzzle. Yeah. Okay. So you might approach that different. That's how you approach it differently.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got to see you win your first regional championship in Edmonton 2 years ago, and I remember I came up to you and you seemed like this young woman. You were just this young, happy, speedy puzzler, and I said to you, "What's your secret? How do you manage to be so fast?" And you said, "I just do a puzzle every day." And I feel like there might be more to it than that. So do you have any advice for our speed puzzlers that are aspiring to be faster or that might be attending nationals and need to prepare a little more in advance?
I mean, specifically at that time when I said I was doing a puzzle every day, I was doing a Cobble Hill puzzle every single day, which was the brand of the competition we were doing. And I was doing a few different Cobble Hill puzzles so that I wouldn't remember the puzzle maybe as much because I hadn't done it in a few days at least at that point. So going into nationals, it's kind of the same advice. Practice as many Ravensburgers as you possibly can get your hands on. Yeah, we saw circles at the USA Nationals, so I would say practice circle Ravensburgers as well, and just kind of like talk to your puzzle friends and see if you can get as many new ones as possible because all the puzzles at Nationals are unreleased. So the more puzzles you can do that you haven't seen before, the better.
That's a really good point because I think that's where I went wrong with my practice last year, where I just repeated the puzzles I really liked. And then I got whammed with a mountain landscape. And it was like, oh, I should have practiced some of these. So excellent tips. So Tess, now I know you have a background in competitive sports. I believe in gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how do you apply the skills that you learned while training for competitive sports to training for speed puzzle competitions?
Oh, thank you. The main thing I do is my pre-competition kind of like mindset and ritual that's so big in gymnastics of you don't get a lot of time to train or warm up the day of the competition. So it's all about like what you do in your brain right before you compete. And I bring the same thing to speed puzzling. So I wasn't on camera because my camera was just pointing down at the table, but I was over to the side in my kitchen doing like jumping jacks to kind of get my heart rate up and like feel like how I'm supposed to. And then I also was asking questions of you before of if I'll need a box top holder, if the image is going to be on the puzzle box, or if I'll need a poster. And so just kind of all the things I can control so that when I open up the puzzle, I just know what to do. So I just knew immediately, like, put the box over there. Don't worry about a box top holder. Open up the bag. It's a resealable bag, you told us. So that was great. And then just go right into my flip and sort.
Excellent advice. Control what you can control,
Yeah.
and then just deal with everything else as it comes up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
We're going to
you.
head over to Liam. I had the pleasure of sitting behind them at nationals last year during my individual qualifier. I don't know how I rated to sit in that section. I had Adam to my right. I had Sophie in front to the left, and Riley and Liam, and I just felt over my head. I was so in awe of having all these speedy people around me. How did you find the solve go for you today?
It went pretty well. I took a different approach. I didn't sort the edge at all until I got to the various projects, and then I started with the edge for that project. And that seemed to work pretty well until I got to the very end when it was just the wood pieces left.
Ah,
They got me. They got me.
well, we kind of predicted that there was, I'm curious if you, like, was there lots of areas where it was totally wood, or were there pieces that had little pops of color to attach? It seemed like that spot underneath that little pot was mostly wood, hey?
Mostly wood under the pot, and then there were other sections that were just wood and didn't have any other clues to them. And you were just going off of the light and dark and like the lines within the wood.
Okay. Yeah, so there's that grain, you could at least orient it like
You could
left or
orient
right.
it, and there's some like larger cracks in the wood that you could pull out a bit too.
Okay. So what advice would you have to share with aspiring speed puzzlers?
I would
I want to look
say
at your brain so badly, Liam.
well, one of the things that I really focused on last nationals was to use all the information available to me. So we knew what the artists, who the artists were, and so I made sure to study their art style, and to when we were heading into pairs finals, there was only two artists left at that point. And so I was like, well, this artist feels more complex, so I think this one will be the team's final. And so that left, I kind of guessed which artist was left. And then I looked at their art again and I was like, okay, this is the most colorful of theirs will be the Toronto. And so that's the one, myself and Tess, I was like, if we get this one, which I think we might, this is how we should go about it.
So again, it's that preparation in advance.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about being able to do a puzzle fast, but kind
No.
of, assessing the image, taking a educated guess about what you might see in the competition and preparing for that. Okay, excellent advice. So Liam, you regularly finish in the top finishers during the CJPA virtual events. Everybody knows that nice little voice. It's Liam, I'm done. How do you, now this is, I'm curious because you have such success virtually, right? And you just astounding. How do you prepare to compete in person at nationals versus competing virtually? Like, because
it's not my favorite.
Yeah, because you seem to be a virtual puzzler. That seems to be
prefer virtual. I can kind of there's less, there's fewer people watching, obviously.
Yeah.
It feels like there's less pressure. I can control more factors. Like I can control the height of my table and what kind of chair I'm sitting on, what kind of lighting I have. Like all of those extra factors I can control, which I can't in a national setting or in a real in-person competition.
Yeah. So I guess it's kind of like control what you can control and then just
Exactly. Yeah.
best of what you've got. Thank you
Look
so
at all the
much.
factors.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
Okay, we're going to go over from BC. We're going to head over to Manitoba. To my very proud to see Manitoba represented on this field, our lovely Kirsty Williams. Tell us how this all went for you today, Kirsty.
Hi. Yeah, it was okay. I don't know why I sound so shocked. I think I'm not a huge fan of like random cut, as anybody will know, but this was like standard enough that it wasn't too random. I tend to be an edge first gal as well. So I did flip and sort my edge, and then I sorted like the majority of my projects, but then still built out the edge first, just so I get a sense of like, I know I'm looking at a picture, but I'm still like, how big is that bottle going to be? Like, is it 10 pieces or is it 100 pieces? So it just helps give me like a sense of scale and sort of helps me be able to place the projects once I've built them. And the commentary definitely helped because it really spurred me on at the end when it was like, Liam's close, Tess is close, Adam's close, Kirsty's close.
I was like, you got this, keep going.
Yeah, so yeah, that definitely helped just give that little extra bit of motivation today as well. But yeah, overall, I think to approach it differently, I probably, I mean, I kind of just shoved all of the brown stuff together. I probably would have done a bit of a better sort of like, what's the pot? What's the little Hessian sack in the bottom corner? Like, what's the weird, are they like, I don't know, I want to say pomegranates, but they're not, but whatever the weird thing is next to the Hessian sack.
Pods or something. We were quite curious. Maybe you can answer this. How easy was it to differentiate between some of those brown colors, or did they all kind of blur together? It was okay for me.
It was okay for me, but I'm sat like directly in a window, so I think that really helped in terms of I could kind of tell with the textures and like what's a little bit more red, what's a little bit more beige. Yeah, so once I got to the pile of brown, it was kind of easy to then micro sort it. But I think if I'd done a little bit more sorting at the start, that may have made it a little bit speedier at the end.
Well, it's always kind of hard to know how much do you sort versus how much do you just get on with it, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So what advice would you share with our aspiring puzzlers who are watching and cheering you on and hoping to be like you one day when they grow up?
I mean, kind of like Tess and Liam have said, specifically for nationals, it would be practice Ravensburgers, do as many first attempts as you can. It can't hurt to do some speed runs to just, like you were saying in the commentary, just repeat the same puzzle to see how fast your hands move and how fast your brain works to actually solve a puzzle that quickly. Look at what images have been used in previous years in other countries' nationals. If we know the artists ahead of time, like Liam said, definitely look at their artwork. If they've done previous puzzles, do those puzzles. Just anything that you can do going into a competition to give yourself that edge. Like with Edmonton, Alberta regionals recently, we knew it was going to be Eurographics. I looked at what recent competitions had been Eurographics for the CJPA. A lot of them had a very similar image with the frames in. I found 2 of them and I practiced them to death, and it paid off because one of them came out in the competition. So anything you can do to
that's a little understated, Kirsty. That kind of led to my question. You've kind of answered my question. Like, you stunned everyone at Alberta regionals. Like, it didn't just pay off. You came in with a time of 29:25.
Yep.
Like, you smoked it. That's world-class times on the Princess Bunny puzzle by Eurographics. And so my question was, what practice did you do to have that incredible performance? But I think you've already answered my question that I was going to ask you. It's that preparation that you put in advance.
I practiced a lot. So I only get a 45-minute lunch break at work. So I had to pick a puzzle that I could do in 45 minutes. So once I'd got that one, and there was another puzzle as well, I got them both under 45 minutes. Then it was just a matter of how hungry am I on my lunch break? I need to get this puzzle done quicker so I can have a snack afterwards. So yeah, but I didn't see myself getting sub 30. That was a surprise for
Well,
me
and
as well.
also because of the larger piece cut of the 500 piece, right? Like there was some practice even just with the shapes and the table management and the piece management that went into it as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think also going into a competition, if you know it's Ravensburger, you know it's standard cut, you know it's a smaller piece size, but doing those bigger piece puzzles helps when you then come back to a puzzle with smaller pieces that you can manage your space more easily. So don't just pigeonhole yourself into practicing one thing, still have a bit of variety in there. And that will help as well.
Okay. Thank you so much.
This question, Kirsty, might be from someone you know. Do you think you inherited your puzzle skills from your mom or your dad?
I mean, I don't want to be rude and say neither. But I do have, I have somehow gotten all of my family in the UK into the speed puzzling phenomenon now. So my dad has competed at Worlds, my mum's competed in pairs at Worlds. So yeah, I think they've got their speed puzzle from me.
Yeah, they're inheriting it from you. They're inheriting it up.
Yeah, I'm managing it.
Full response. Thank you, Kirsty. Thank you so much. Well done today. Victoria.
Hi.
Hi, Victoria. And Victoria is coming in from Alberta, correct?
That's right.
From Alberta.
Yeah.
So Victoria qualified at the Alberta Regionals, and you share the tell us how your solve went today.
Chaotic as usual. That's my style. So at flip and sort was fine. I contemplated whether or not I was going to do the edge or not. I probably should have, because I think that would have helped me have a better scale and know where to put things a little bit better, because I was just building things randomly. And then once I finally started to put things together at the end, I'm like, oh, like I could have attached that sooner if I'd had a better idea of the actual scale, I think. So in hindsight, I should have probably done that first, although I did find some of the edge pieces tricky. There's a lot of dark on the edge, in the corners especially, and I kept contemplating where they were going instead of just taking a minute to figure out where they went. But I love the sortability. I liked putting together all the little islands. That was great. Yeah, it was great.
What advice do you have to share with our aspiring speed puzzlers as they prepare for nationals or just want to get faster? Or even maybe even start, maybe even just start being a speed puzzler.
Well, and I think that how, like everyone else has said, practice, practice, practice. I have some local, my teammates from the Puzzle Killers that we share a lot of puzzles. And I think that helps a lot to, see as many puzzles as possible, try different things. I do watch other people's YouTube videos to get ideas. I'm not a super analytical person about, oh, did you try this? Or I'm a little bit chaotic all the time. Even if I have an idea in my head that I should try something new, I find myself actually in the moment just repeating the same things that I normally do, because that's what I do. But if that advice is good for you, I think it's great to watch other people puzzle, take their strategies, see if it works for you, see if you can apply it, going forward. I've picked up some things over the years that have helped me for sure, overcome a little bit of my chaoticness, but that's always probably going to be how I run. Yeah. So
well, I know Adam always says it's, do what works best for you. Like I'm giving you a suggestion for something you could try and do what works best for you. So I think that is a really good point that you make. So Victoria, you shared, I did a little bit of a puzzler profile. You shared your favorite event is teams, and you really enjoy teams because you can rely on each other. And especially in the case of when you had a challenging puzzle, that puzzle passion puzzle at nationals in 2025. So your team finished 7th at nationals. And how does your, we've talked about more individual people preparing for nationals, but how does your team prepare for nationals? And what do you rely upon as a team for strategies that help you keep moving forward through the puzzle? What can you tell us about how your team prepares for nationals and what you do that keeps you moving forward?
So we do try and practice when we can, but we all have busy lives and families and different things that keep us apart. So we try and make the most of the time that we do have together. A couple of our puzzlers are quite strategy, and they think about those things, they suggest different things. So even just at Alberta Nationals or Alberta Regionals, we tried a new strategy where I became a super sorter, and that my job was to just do that as much as possible until I was either fed up or really needed to get puzzling. And then our edge person would take over from that. So we are trying to try new roles. We're trying to figure out what everybody is good at. And what we also talk about a lot, and what we're better and better at, is when we are frustrated, when we are not seeing anything, we switch. So if I'm just staring at pieces, I'm like, I'm done over here. Who wants this spot? I need something else, anything else. And knowing our strengths, like at Alberta Regionals, the teams puzzle with all the buildings. I love buildings. They were hard. I found them quite hard to do.
Because it was not me.
Yeah, right. And all my teammates said the same thing. But I also had to leave that section twice. And then I came back to it. So, trying something different, I find works for us so much. And we also are a big fan of shape sort. You guys, I think you said it in the chat. If somebody's asking if we should shape sort, we should have already done it. We are big believers in that. So we do. I really appreciate that, because I use the color, I use the shape, I use all the aspects when I'm puzzling. I'm not just a one or the other. So having that organized information, I find that's really helpful for me. And we have one particular girl who's very good at flipping and getting that shape sort done fast. And so I didn't use that on this puzzle because of the random, and I felt that there was enough information on most of the pieces I had left that I didn't need to do it so much on this one. By the time I got down to when everybody was watching me at the end.
I know. I made a point of not saying like, everybody look at Teresa or Victoria. I was like, no, I'm going to say it.
I finished exactly where I anticipated I would finish. So I'm very happy.
In the top 10, right?
In the top 10
in Canada.
That's where I always want to be, right? Yeah. But I felt like those pieces had enough information still on them, either the color or the texture, the bigger, darker lines in some of the wood grain. I can have a piece that has even just the tiniest little bit of color. I'd love that. I can seek that out, except for that one piece that I put in jail, which ended up being my very last piece. Yeah, it was the last piece I put in. Yeah.
And I was like, does she know that little piece is all the way over there by itself? Yeah. And then I was like, yep, she does. That's puzzle jail.
Yeah, 100%. And that was the very last piece that I actually put in the puzzle, because I couldn't see it, and it had a thing on it and I still couldn't see it. But yeah. So all those strategies together, I have a great team. We're friends outside of puzzling. I think that helps a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did anybody shape sort? Well, that was a bit of a conversation in the Zoom chat right now. Did anybody shape sort for this? A little bit, Kirsty? No.
Kirsty said maybe about the last 20 pieces.
Yeah. The last 20. Yeah. Just always an interesting conversation in this. I'm curious too, before we move on to the next person, because a few people have asked this in the YouTube chat as well. Is somebody able to, like, with their camera, show us what the pieces actually look like, a bit of a close-up of that puzzle? Because I've heard it's like random or random-ish a little bit. Oh my gosh, you're holding it up. Hey, see, there's the whole. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, random-ish. Yes. Okay. Charlene and Victoria, thank you.
They're not that grid cut where the corners line up, right?
No, okay, but they're not too wonky either.
Level of challenge too.
Yeah, totally. Well, it has good pickup ability, obviously, because you picked it up, no problem. So that's always a good thing. Awesome. Thank you for that.
All right, Émilie from Quebec. So how did this all go for you? I think it went pretty well today.
Yeah.
You were strong there. Tell us how it went for you. What was your approach? What would you do differently?
I don't talk a lot in English, so
that's okay. If you want to speak in French, you can speak in French too. That's fine. Whatever you feel.
I try to do the edge just to have a idea what the size, and after I go by color.
Okay.
Good. But the thing that I find hard, it's the form of the piece.
Yeah, the randomness of the shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that someone asked to hold it up because we knew it was a slightly random cut, but if it's not lining up straight, it just adds some difficulty, right? It just makes it a little bit trickier if you don't have those kind of curves and straight lines that we like. So Émilie, you shared that your favorite event is doing individual competitions, and that you like competing as an individual. What do you like best about that?
It's less stress because I am a lot of disorganized too. I'm not a person who organize a lot of my puzzles. So when I do with the other, I'm scared to c'est quoi?
You can speak in French. I understand a little bit of French too.
Okay,
but you don't want to mess up or
de
something.
nuire aux autres. I'm scared de nuire to. Yeah,
just to kind of like. I think you had shared. I had chatted with you before, and you said you don't like to kind of mess up your teammates if you're not kind of doing the same style of organization, and that makes it stressful for you. So that's kind of what you prefer about being an individual. It's all on you, and you get to take, like, what's happening, and you don't have to worry about anybody else.
When I do the pair with my sister, it's okay because my sister is not very good, so it's me that lead. But when I am with people who are good too, I'm scared to mess it up. And
okay, well, thank you so much. Do you have any tips for our puzzlers before they go to nationals? Any suggestions or things they could practice at home?
Like the other, you need to do it and do it for fun too. I think that when it's too practice, you will be not like this. So do it for fun, and that sometimes it's nice to do puzzle just for do puzzle and
just to relax and have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you kind of want to do this puzzle you did so fast today again and just like look at it a little bit more? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was in a competition and it was Adam's like, no, I just want to get it done. I see that look. I did that armadillo and sloth puzzle, and I was looking at it upside down, and we got to the end, and I said to my partner, where's the armadillo? Like, I don't see the armadillo. And it takes up like half the puzzle, but I guess I was just so focused on the color that I didn't even see like the image behind it. So I think that's a good reminder, Émilie, is that sometimes, it's nice to do a puzzle and just look at it and enjoy it and relax and have fun. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're going to go to Charlene. How did your solve go for you today?
It went very chaotic, I would say too. I've been trying, so this is only my first full year of doing competitions. I'm very new at this. So I've been trying different type of solving, like doing the edges or not doing the edges. And I don't have like that many competitions around my area to participate at and try different things. So that's why yesterday was my first time doing one online. And I found it very different than doing it in person. I don't feel as I'm being pushed to go fast. I'm at home and I'm like, dishes on the counter and things around the house that I'm not focused as much, I find, than when I'm like in a room at a table. And also, I don't have a kitchen table. I only have an island. So the height I found has been different because if I'm standing, my reach is not as far as if it's a table, I would say.
Okay.
So that has been very different as far as height. Like I'm on a stool. I thought it would be easier, but I think a table for me is something I would prefer puzzling on. So it's been.
And that was that's one of the questions that our viewers had, was they noticed the difference in everybody's setups at home with different kinds of tables and how that can really impact your puzzle experience, right?
Yeah, for sure. And then so this one I tried to do not the edges and do by bunch of colors, but then at the end I had random edges pieces. So I don't know. Maybe I would have done better if I did the edges first, but I went with my gut and I did it like that.
Now, you shared in your puzzle profile that you just completed your first year of speed puzzling. And like, I think it's been, you could count it a success. Look where you are. Now, I thought, you said your first in-person competition was with your mom at a toy store. Can you share that little story with us? Because it was kind of funny.
Yeah, so I saw an online post, and me and my mom have always been puzzling since I was little, and just for fun. And we saw a post at a little corner store here in Cornwall, and we said, "Oh, we're gonna go, but like we're gonna be last because we're not that great at puzzling." And there was about maybe like 12 teams in, and we finished the puzzle. I want to say maybe under 40 minutes or something like that. And the next team after us took maybe an hour extra. So we were way ahead of everyone. And that's when I was like, oh, well, maybe it's something that I'm actually good at. Like, so that's when I started registering to other competitions. And then I've noticed that I'm decent at puzzling. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So that kind of leads me to my question for you. So what advice would you give to puzzlers who might be interested in speed puzzling, but they kind of think like, oh, I'm not gonna be fast enough. I'm not good enough to start. And they haven't tried a competition yet. What advice could you give to someone who might be
do it
in that situation?
Register to a competition and do it. I'm very excited to go to the nationals. I've never been. And so I'm excited to see like everyone doing all the puzzles together. I find it's a fun event. I mean, you're with people that like puzzling, like you like puzzling. I find even at work or in my friends, I don't have friends that puzzle, so it's not something I can chat with people about. And just to go to the events, I find it's very nice. And I would, just do it. I mean, I puzzle every night for fun watching TV. Like I just have like a board, like a foam board, and I just sit and then I watch my shows and I puzzle because I find it boring to just watch TV. So I do that at the same time. And I would just say like, go for it and try it. And you might really enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to head over to Nicole. Hi, Nicole. How did the solve go for you today?
Messy. Sorry, my partner's in the screen. Well, because I'm a edge first person, and when I flipped, I pulled my edges, but I didn't pull all of them, apparently, because I couldn't tell what was an edge and not, because in a random cut, there's pieces in the middle of the puzzle that look like edges. So I tried to do the edge, and then I was like, oh wait, I don't have all the pieces. I know I don't have the pieces. So I had to like abandon that strategy. And for me to abandon that strategy is hard, because that is just such a comfort zone for me to do edge first. And so then I was like, oh, I'm doing islands. And I don't know how to turn my phone to mute in the middle of a competition. So I was listening to the commentary the whole time. So like I knew that everybody else was doing islands. So I was like, okay, well, I'm like kind of doing what everybody else is doing. All this feels so messy for me. I didn't know it was going to be a random cut. So that was a surprise to me. And I don't ever do random cut.
Okay, so there you go. You had a few firsts happening today.
Yeah, I think I've done like Cobble Hill like twice, maybe 2 puzzles from Cobble Hill, which is not even the same type of random cut as this. Like Cobble Hill is like more rounded, sort of. This is like straight edges, but like I found it super random. Okay. So it's just not a style of puzzle that I ever practice. So yeah, again, I was listening to Charlene. I guess I'm newer, a year and a half. So I started in November 2024 now, I guess. So I'm just like, oh, this is a thing. So I'm like building up my puzzle library, and currently it's a lot of Eurographics, and just started collecting Ravensburgers. So I'm going to go to nationals for the first time. So otherwise, I just get thrift store puzzles and make it as affordable as possible.
Now you mentioned in your puzzler profile that you've been puzzling since you were really little. And tell us how you used to get your puzzles. I thought that was interesting.
So I'm like the only puzzler in my like BC family. I mean, like, I don't know. I'm from a really small town in BC, Princeton, shout out. And we didn't have stores. We didn't like so my grandma was also a puzzler. She lives in Ontario. My BC family's all from Ontario. She's from Sault Ste. Marie, and she would mail me like a box of puzzles every few months. And like even though I never got to see my family in Ontario, that was like a way for us to connect through puzzles. So she would do them and then send them to me, and then I would do them. But I only ever had those puzzles. So like as all the people on this chat, a 1,000-piece puzzle doesn't actually take you that long.
Yeah.
It takes you an evening, right? All of you, I'm certain. So I kind of fell out of it because it was such an expensive hobby to be like, this $25 item just took me a couple hours. That doesn't seem like really financially feasible. So I kind of got out of puzzling for a while. But yeah, I just kind of got back into it because I like the competition aspect, like Tess. I kind of come from a world of competitive sports as well. And so I really like the competition. So yeah.
And it's so funny because that's exactly my question for you, was because you did mention that you kind of had a time where you paused puzzling because it wasn't, so, you just felt it's kind of easy, or it's not what I want to do right now. But yeah, it's that competition. That's what I was curious about, what it was about speed puzzling versus regular puzzling. And I think everybody here loves doing puzzles, but it kind of, for me, was like, you mean I could do this and try and race against other people and do it faster than someone? Yes, please. So wonderful. Yeah, you answered the question I was going to ask you. So well done, Nicole. Thank you so much. Okay. Andrea. Yes. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How was your solve today?
So, I mean, it went well. It would be silly to say that it didn't, but it went pretty smoothly. Nothing really major happened except that little white herb, sort of like I had a piece that was wrong. So it threw me off completely, like a little. And then I fixed it. And then
it feels like a massive road bump in the middle of a competition, right?
Yeah, like that was the main thing that happened. Otherwise, it went pretty smoothly with everything. It's a really nice puzzle, I think.
It was so funny because I put the image of the screen of the puzzle up on the screen, then I shut it off, and I was like, "Oh, you got the bowl done." Like that must have jumped out to you, that yellow bowl of spices. The time, like it seemed like you were really in tune with certain colors and shapes and images that it was popping out to you today.
Absolutely, I was, while I was doing the flip. That's a little bit my strategy with puzzle like that. I like to do all the flip first, and then while I flip, I look at the pieces, I look at the image, and then figure out my plan. And then from there, I'm going to take the pieces that I need. So I'm doing like little sorts as I go. And then when I saw the bowl, I'm like, it's for sure starting with that. And then the pink flowers. And after that, figuring out what's next, which was a little bit more random, but still, yeah.
I'm curious from all of our puzzles, maybe you could, or puzzlers, you could maybe give us a thumbs up or a wave. Did you start sorting out pieces while you were flipping with this puzzle, or did you wait till you had flipped everything? See, I saw Megan definitely was, and Charlene and other people, you just flipped and a little bit Victoria. Everybody else just mostly like flip and then sort. I always find I'm always on the fence on that because I seem to zone in on pieces and I want to pull them, but then I get distracted and then I'm not sure if it speeds me up or slows me down. So I'll have to
It's very tricky. It's really tricky. Yeah. Personally, this year it has been a struggle figuring out what would be fastest for me. So I've been trying different approach with the same puzzle sometimes. So personally, I think I ended up most of the time finding that doing a full flip first and then grab the pieces I want to is a little better for me personally, because I think it gives me the time to figure out what I think, to debate in my head what I think will be the fastest to start with. I mean, but I'm sure there's different ways. As I said, I think it's good to do multiple approach and then figure out what works best for you. It could be different.
And I think that's really great advice for our puzzlers that are listening and learning from everyone today, is that, take that same puzzle and try it in different ways and, practice strategies, see what does work for you. Excellent. Yeah. So your first ever in-person event, I believe, was in Nationals 2025.
Yes.
And you came in 8th in individuals and 10th in pairs. Yeah. So what advice do you have for puzzlers who might be attending Nationals for their first time this year?
Last year when I was going there with my sister, and then we had no idea how it would go, not even timing wise. We didn't really know what was fast, what was not fast. So we were kind of just going blind and a little bit in denial in a way. And it did good because we were just like there for fun. So there was no pressure. We were just like, and then I ended up placing, I think, pretty well for a first time. So I was just pleased with that. So I think this helped me instead of over prepare, to be honest. I did virtual stuff before though. Like it wasn't my first competition ever, but my first in person for sure. But yeah, I think if you prefer being prepared, then prepare, look at pictures, look at a bunch of things. If going in denial is a little better for you, then I would suggest that. Maybe it puts a little less pressure. Just go for fun, no expectations, and then you'll see what happens. You'll see what. Because back then, to me, there was one way to approach a puzzle. It was edge first, full sort, and then you. So that's what I did for all the events that we were doing. So, but then I realized, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there's just so many different ways to do stuff. So I think it's a good way also to go a little bit blind and say like, okay, we'll see what happens. But it depends on everybody, right?
Exactly. Okay. Excellent advice. Thank you so much.
One question, Andrea, for you from YouTube, from Puzzly Tash, is wondering if were the kittens helpful?
I mean, I had a cat sitter like that was watching to make sure that they would not jump on the table. But yeah, no, they didn't. They were mostly sleeping, so I was lucky for that.
Yeah, they were helpful in staying out of the way. That's always good.
Yeah.
It's like a Wheel of Doom, cat interruptions during the puzzle.
Exactly. Whenever I do virtual, I have to have like a little I have a cat sitter that will keep my cat from jumping on the table for sure.
Yeah, they just want to see what's going on.
They want to help, right?
Totally
sure they do. Knock the pieces off. Thank you so much, Andrea.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, we're going to head over to Megan. Hi, Megan.
Hello, Rebecca.
I was very interested because I had a very good view of the way you had your camera set up of how you were solving your puzzle today. How did you find your solve went today?
Oh, it was fun. I've got a friend who does what she calls a full sort, and this was not that. I was a very different technique than what Caitlin does. Hello, Caitlin. Shout out.
Yeah. I was going to say, is your friend Caitlin? The queen of sorting?
But I was flipping over all of the edge pieces and putting those in a pile, and then there were half a dozen different things. There's a full rainbow here. There's reds all the way through purples.
Yeah.
Arguably, but I would say those count as yellow. And also different kinds of whites, and just there's so much to sort. And I thought, well, I'm touching all the pieces now. I'm going to move them. I get bored of sorting really fast.
Yeah.
So I had to stop in the middle together the little bowl of turmeric, I think Tess said it was.
Yeah.
I was not identifying things at the time. I get lavender because I know that off the top of my head, and I get lichen, but.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how you just see it as the little red pieces, or you come up with the nicknames, that blue swirly piece, or because you don't even have time to think of it as a thing when you're doing it. You see it more as the color or the shape or the texture.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting because I did see you kind of start off by sorting some of those pieces as you were flipping and then kind of moving into just solving. What advice do you have for people who are heading to nationals?
Two pieces of advice, I guess. One of them isn't really jigsaw puzzles, and that advice is talk to people and write the names down. That really helped me the next year. Just you're going to meet some of the nicest people ever, and it's just all going to be a blur. Or I'm specifically coming from the perspective of someone who was really focused on, holy crap, I just won.
Yeah.
So it might not be as much of a blur for anybody else.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people that I talked to, and a lot of people I've ended up making friends with. And that's going to be one of the best parts.
Absolutely.
The other piece of advice is if you're distractible at all, get headphones. Mine are noise canceling. It's quiet enough that probably won't be necessary. And just get a really fast song and loop it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I spent most of
I'm
that
curious.
listening to Whatever It Takes by Imagine Dragons.
Okay, mine
Sped
is
up.
The Trooper by Iron Maiden. That's my fast flipping song.
Ooh, okay.
It's
I'll have to
a
look that
little
one
bit
up.
of I'm older. I got to go a little bit of hairband on my fast flipping songs. But I was going to ask of our puzzlers, was anybody listening to music today? Were you listening to music? And do you specifically have a playlist that you play that you every time, or do you listen to random play? Or I know Tess has a playlist. Kirsty's on shuffle. Liam, you have a specific playlist? And Adam, how about you? Specific or just whatever comes up on your playlist? Okay. And some people had no headphones whatsoever. Was anyone listening to the commentary okay, so Nicole was, Kirsty, and anybody just like shut it right off? I don't want to know what they're talking about. I want it pitch quiet. Okay. Megan, good. Now it's funny
I had
go
phone
ahead.
music, and this is just playing no headphones, which is the only way I can figure out how to make it work.
Well, I'm really interested in the fact that you said one of the best things is talking to people, because I know that you are our #1 ranked puzzler in the CJPA ranking and a 2-time national championship. And it's funny because I was so lucky that I bumped into you last year at nationals, and we kind of kept bumping into each other. I don't know if you remember me, but I certainly remember you.
I bumped into a lot of people. That's why I said keep the notebook.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think that's necessarily everyone's experience, because a lot of people were coming up to me specifically, but
maybe hoping your speed will rub off on them.
A lot of people asked me where I'd come from.
Yeah, exactly. I was standing at the back of the hall after you came in first place in individuals, and you came out around the corner and you were so pumped, and I was so happy for you. And I said, oh, wow, how can you be so fast? And I very clearly remember what you told me. You said, I just do the easiest thing first, and then the next easiest, and so on and so on. So I was wondering if you could you kind of talked a little bit about that with the colors that were standing out to you, but how do you decide so quickly what would be easiest and what would be the next easiest? Are you referring like that it's standing out to you in some way because of color or texture, or what could you tell us about that?
Kind of instinct, I think, but a lot of it was standout. A lot of stuff was easier to pick out. It's easy to find and it's easy to do because it even comes with its own little extra border. This was, I picked it out easily, but doing it, there's sort of a line of flowers, which meant it was easier than the flowers up here, which don't have that.
Yeah.
This has a border of itself too. This and this, I couldn't tell apart at first, but I followed the lines of the string for both.
Oh,
This
smart.
had edges, like there's a lot of edges in this puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a very good.
And a lot of it is just grab whatever's in front of me, because even if it isn't the absolute easiest right now, I will still have to do it. And there's not going to be a lot of difference in, if it occurs to me to grab it, it's probably going to be easy enough.
Yeah. Good point.
There's a lot happening up here subconsciously. Part of the music is to quiet my conscious mind so that the subconscious can just
kind of get in the zone, right? Like it's almost like a flow state. And you could just see that today. Like it was so amazing. Like, thank you all for doing this for us, because this was just amazing to watch. And at one point I said, like, just look at everybody's hands. Like everybody was using 2 hands at the same time, going so fast. Somebody in the comments said, I'm going to rewatch it on half speed so I can see what they're doing, because it was just so fast. And I don't know if you realize, Megan, right near the end there, you were putting in 2 pieces at the same time. And like, oh my gosh. So it was just beautiful to watch. And you were like, I'm not trying. Yeah. Oh, I know. No, but it really was so impressive, because you were like rotating them and bloop. Like, it wasn't like you were like, it was very smooth, and it was a very excellent finish. So I just wanted to compliment you on that. And congratulations for coming in first today. You really did a great job on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll look forward to seeing you at nationals again this year. Okay.
I think that's a before we head into our last one here, just for everybody on YouTube as well, do you listen to music while you puzzle? And if so, what are your favorite songs? Somebody had commented on there. I'd love to know everybody's favorite puzzling song or favorite speedy song, because it's interesting. Like Tess, you said you have a set list, and then I think Kirsty, you're like, I have a list, but it goes random, and it's just interesting to see what we like or don't like around us when we're listening or not listening to things while we're puzzling. So,
well, and I use my musical playlist kind of as a timer. Like I know by the time that I've finished the first 2 songs, I better pretty much have my edge kind of put together. And I know that when Roundabout by Yes come in, like I'm coming up to an hour, get cracking, time to go. You know, I need that funky bass beat to keep me going. So there's also that timing aspect of it as well. I wonder
if there's a beat thing. I remember back in the day when I used to run, I know they would say like, play these certain songs that have these beats. Like, I wonder if there's a good set of beats for our puzzling. We've got a few coming up. Sam will listen to things on solos. Puzzle Nerd, Scatman is a fan favorite. So yeah, it's just a fun one to think about. I like listening to stuff on random, so this is interesting. But I hadn't thought about setting the list so I know where I'm at time-wise. That's a great strategy.
Do you do that, Liam? I see you nodding your head. No? Okay.
No.
Just me. All right, Adam. In the comments here, it says, Kirsty very nicely said, we've saved the best for last. I'm really happy to be interviewing you because so often you are the one who gets to interview everyone else. And I have to give you a shout out. I got a lot of inspiration for this kind of little chit chat at the end from watching your Puzzled and Chatty series on YouTube. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. How was this all for you today, Adam?
Yeah, it was all right. First of all, congratulations to Megan. That was incredible. And everybody else for under an hour. I think that was a good representation of the 10 of us. So well done to everyone. Yeah, mine, I could have been better. Random cut is not my strength at all. Obviously there's a pink flower in there, so that threw me off straight away. So of course there's going to be one.
Technically it was purple, wasn't it? No.
It's pink. It's as pink as it can possibly be. It's not my overall style. I'm glad Nationals is likely not to be random cut unless the circle puzzle shows up. So yeah, I'm okay with this. Under an hour. Under 50 would have been really nice, but it is what it is.
So what's now? Okay, so this is kind of interesting because I've been asking everyone else for their tips for puzzlers going to nationals, but you don't have to tell us any right now because we can just go to your YouTube and we can see all of the lessons that you have in your Puzzling 101 series that you very kindly put on for aspiring speed puzzlers. So for those of you who don't know, which I'm sure everyone I would hope would know, you run a very successful YouTube channel, Can Adam Puzzle, which I think is the coolest because I always was calling it Canada Adam, but I'm like, no, wait, Can Adam Puzzle. That's so clever. So your channel is really unique in that you have several very interesting features. So that Puzzling 101 series with lessons for people that they can watch and learn and try different techniques. You also focus on Canadian puzzlers with your Puzzled and Chatty interviews, and you have a really great variety of Canadian puzzlers who have been interviewed. And I know several of the puzzlers that are participating here today have had a chance to be interviewed by Adam. And now you're even going global and interviewing international competitors on your channel, which has just been amazing. Now, all of this, in addition, that you are training for the Puzzle World Series Championships coming up in May in Germany. And so I've really followed you with great interest as you're training for this event. And I think I saw today that you've done like over 200 puzzles so far this year for training. Yeah. So what suggestions for our viewers can you share on how to set goals and train for a big event? And I know we can go and watch your videos, but maybe you have some tips or tricks for us today.
Goals are very personal to each person. You have to know what your personal goal is, like, and they have to be realistic, which comes up a lot on the channel. I know going to the World Series, I'm not finishing first. Like, I would have to be the only person there, and even then, it would be I might get second. There's no chance that. So I just need to know what my personal goals will be and compare it to what I just want to see progress from each time. I'm using it to get ready for nationals. That's my main focus, which is a month and a half away at this point.
And Megan says, "Shh, don't reveal all your secrets." No.
No, I think a lot of what people have said already in this has been fairly accurate, and it's slightly different for everybody. I almost do the opposite of what Liam mentioned earlier. Like, they have the ideal setup for their virtual, which is why they do so well with it. My virtual, you can even see on the screen right now, everybody here, I think, has natural light. I'm clearly not in a natural light scenario here. It's not great, but I prefer that in my training. I make myself uncomfortable a little bit. So when I get to nationals or worlds or whatever it is, and you have the natural light, you have the atmosphere it makes me go faster. It can't get worse than what I'm puzzling in right now. So I get ready for the worst case scenario. Like Nicole and Tess mentioned, I did competitive sports when I was younger. I prefer to be in person. So I know that maybe my training isn't going great on some days, but when I'm in that moment, that's when it kind of starts to come together. When there's a person beside me, it does increase it. If people are nervous about their first in person and you have a friend, doesn't matter how good they might be, have them do a puzzle beside you just to get used to that type of atmosphere, so you're not just dropped into this chaotic scenario at a competition, whether it's a small local brewery or if it's nationals, whatever it might be.
That's a really good point you bring up. I know for the CJPA events, when we have the individual and pairs in the same day, I'll have a friend come over and we'll do our individuals side by side on a table I have set up. And then I always find that too. Like, I feed off of being around other people, and it makes me go faster if I have that other person. So I think that's an excellent training tip for us. Thank you so much. Okay, now for everyone who's stuck around, I'm so excited. I've almost passed out several times waiting to give you all of these wonderful announcements. So thank you to our puzzlers. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm so honored that I get to be the one to make these breaking announcement news to you. So let me just get my screen up here. Let's see. Okay. All right. Can you see my screen there? Let's see.
Yes, we can.
All right. So announcements. Artists. We've talked a lot about, and I know Liam talked about looking ahead to some of the artists who will be at nationals. So we have 6 new artists that will be featured in the 2026 Canadian Nationals. And beginning today at 4 p.m., we will begin to drop one artist bio to our socials. And we will post a new artist every Sunday until our final reveal on May 17th. So in celebration of our invitational, ready for the first artist reveal?
Yes.
So our first artist reveal, and we've just seen this puzzle appear at the USA National Jigsaw Puzzle Championships. So our first artist is Louise Marion, and she's a Canadian artist, and she invites us to discover her vision of a colorful, vibrant life through her paintings. And for Louise, painting is an all-encompassing passion where time does not exist. So she travels through towns and villages in searches of landscapes and urban scenes to capture the essence of the location through color and light. So they exude joie de vivre. And I have to say, this was one of the puzzles that really popped out to me at the USA Nationals. I just love this kind of graphic. It's painterly, but still graphic with clear images. So yeah, Louise will be one of our featured puzzlers at Nationals. Okay, now that is one very lovely announcement, but we have
one before you hop into that too. There's a lot of yay, nice, thought it was great, amaze in our comments here, Victoria. I caught that little Project Hail Mary in there. There's a lot of hype on the YouTube channel for this too. So that's beautiful. What amazing.
What do our puzzlers here? What do you think? Are you excited to see Louise Marion's? Yeah, I've seen some hearts. I feel like when you were talking about what kind of puzzles you gravitate to, I think this one checks a lot of those buttons. And it's just going to be a super fun puzzle to do as well. All right. Okay. Are you ready for the big announcement? Now, this is huge. And this announcement comes from a project that has been almost a year in the making. And this project has been made possible with the support of Ravensburger, who are the sponsors for a Nationals 2026 competition. So if you have any predictions, you can pop it in the chat, but I'm only going to be able to hold on for like 3 seconds before I flip to the next slide. So I'm very happy to reveal that we will be live streaming all events at Nationals in 2026.
Yay!
I cannot keep a secret for the life of me, and I've tried so very hard not to accidentally blurt anything out. We're so excited to be live streaming. We're going to be in our new venue. The name escaped me. The Mold. I want to say Mold Mansion. That's not it. But it's a big hockey rink.
It's an arena. Yes.
The hockey arena. What's more Canadian than that? And we're going to be in the arena. We've got like over double the amount of competitors, and we're going to be live streaming. And so Tina and I are going to be your live streaming hosts at the event. And we have a lineup of wonderful co-hosts set up. And Karine also will be our host for the French competition, French live streams. And so we are so proud to be able to bring this to you. And we really want to give a big shout out to Russ and Amanda and the team of dedicated volunteers who have been working on this behind the scenes to make this a reality. We're really so excited to be able to bring this to you. So yes, and I don't know what the comments are like on YouTube, but I'm sure people are very excited.
There's a lot of woohoo, let's go, yes, congrats, so pumped, yay. Very exciting. What we'll be watching from New Zealand. See, that's the wonderful part of it is, those of us that aren't going to actually be live at Nationals. I will be there live, of course, helping host the live stream with this. But yeah, in the past, it's like we want to be a part of these things. We can't always be there live. And so it'll be amazing. We're really, really excited. And I don't know if anybody else is like me. I always watch the World Jigsaw Puzzles. It's like that whole week or so when that's going on. It's always in my background the whole time. The USA was just a few weeks away, like, woohoo! We're joining the ranks of all that now on the Canada side too. And yeah, double the shout out you just said, Rebecca, to Amanda and Fawn and Russ and the team behind the scenes. Not everybody sees what's going on, like busy little bees behind the scenes, but so much that comes into play to bring these to life. So we're extra excited about that. Yeah. Oh, we got some people fighting to co-host as well. So here we go. Bring it on.
Kirsty, it's a parkade, not a car park. We've had this debate several times. Okay, well, I think this kind of brings us to the end of our live stream. This was fantastic. Thank you, everyone, for attending today, and thank you for sharing your mad puzzle skills with all of us at home. We're looking forward to cheering you on again, Adam, at the World Series of Speed Puzzling, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone at Nationals and competing against you and talking about you again as the co-host. Thank you for just being so willing to share your strategies and tips with everyone. It's really aspiring to some of us we're always trying to get a little faster, a little better. And it really is, it was very inspiring today to watch you all puzzle and just how open and willing you are to sharing with us. So thank you very much.
And those of you who joined us on YouTube as well, it just felt like being in a great big room full of people. I know we had over 100 people at the kind of peak of everybody competing and watching. So it's been wonderful to spend this time together with everybody. And the 10 of you for jumping into puzzle with us. I mean, it's just been so much fun to see the competition and hear the tips and the inside scoop on everything. So we really appreciate it.
And this will be posted on our YouTube channel. I have big street cred at school. I'm supposed to go in and show my students tomorrow morning that I was on YouTube. I'm now officially the coolest teacher ever. So you can always go back, you can review your solve, and for anyone else, you can share this link with other people. So if they didn't get a chance to watch it live, they can definitely watch it on the replay. Thank you so much for joining, and take care, everyone. Have a wonderful afternoon and happy puzzling.